Hello, my name is Natasha Hinkson, and this is a mind map with 10-minute oral presentation for assignment 2. How might you positively influence sustainable leadership? Human interaction with the natural environment is a complex problem. Sustainability up to recent times has largely been about legal compliance, together with select voluntary actions aimed at preventing damage to the environment and protecting brand image. The emerging definition of sustainability is more focused on mapping out what the future might look like for humanity if we were to eliminate shortfalls in social foundational elements while simultaneously safeguarding Earth's life-giving systems. To achieve the ideal state proposed in the donut economy model requires extraordinary abilities and a new approach to leadership. According to Suryanki et al. And Avery, creating organizational resilience, longevity, and sustainability is only possible with the correct type of leadership. Sustainability leadership moves beyond the popular going green notion to focus on creating long-term well-being and value for all stakeholders, and is especially focused on promoting sustainability at a societal level. Obviously, to be sustainable, companies need to take care of their financial performance. A study cited by Suryanki et al. And Avery confirmed that sustainable leadership enhanced financial performance and resulted in higher employee satisfaction. Furthermore, a 2020 study by Akbal and Armour proved that sustainable leadership has a significant positive impact on sustainable performance and organizational learning. Considering 5 contemporary leadership styles closely matching sustainability leadership, one observes many key aspects among the various styles that are aligned to sustainability leadership. But the conclusion is that none on their own match up to the full suite of competencies required to be a sustainable leader. While servant and authentic leaders both possess excellent qualities required for sustainable leadership, they both lack the decision-making skills, the willingness to take calculated risks, and the ability to manage complexity that a transformational leader possesses. And while the charismatic leader has the unique ability to get volumes of people moving with energy in the same direction, their large ego and overly persuasive communication skills are not aligned to the ideal character of the sustainable leader. Although an ethical leader embeds high levels of integrity into the workplace, their high compliance to standards can limit the innovation and creativity required to succeed as a sustainable leader. Turner and Baker in 2018 have pointed out that even with a vast body of leadership theories and skills available, there is still a need to modify or update these theories to become more applicable to meeting the challenges that come with today's complex environment. Leadership for sustainability builds on, but goes beyond the typical skills extracted from the existing models of leadership. In addition to the attributes labeled with green flags, a sustainable leader needs to develop a host of mindsets that are required to transition an individual from being a leader to being a sustainable leader. Some of these mindsets are not new, in that they exist in other leadership models, but they are highlighted here because they need to be taken to a new and different level altogether, like the ability to create a strong vision. Sustainable leaders create visions that stand apart in that their visions make a difference beyond the organization, and they capture the hearts and minds of stakeholders. Likewise, collaboration is not a novel concept, but sustainable leaders maximize collaboration potential by empowering the leadership traits that exist in each individual. Recognizing that today's sustainability challenges are complicated, they tend not to provide solutions but leverage the tension, conflict, and uncertainty that come from differences as an advantage to generate creative and viable solutions. We may consider that the exceptionally high moral standards of an ethical leader are enough for a sustainable leader, but it is only a foundation for the advanced value system required to be a sustainable leader who has a deep awareness of connections to all life in addition to a strong sense of commitment to values. Sustainable leaders are obsessed with healing the earth and human communities and committed to taking actions to create the world they want and encourage others to do the same. Knowledge and skills, innovation, a learning culture, and having a long-term perspective are other concepts that take on new meaning under sustainable leadership. Burns et al. In 2015 acknowledged that sustainability requires new and expanded knowledge and skill sets unlikely to exist in one individual. And so, sustainable leaders actively develop the traits, styles, and skills that they themselves lack in others, thereby building effective teams and enabling a form of distributed leadership. Adarina and Latifa in 2016 recognized that sustainability requires the organizational leader to take a bold change, to be ultimately focused on the earth and humanity as a whole. To do this requires innovative approaches, and so these type of leaders welcome perspectives from external sources, they encourage bigger risk-taking, and they let go of standardization. Lee in 2017 noted that sustainable leaders develop everyone continually to be capable of successfully performing new challenges and tasks. This transformational learning leads to continuous organizational evolution in response to the fluent needs of diverse stakeholders. Lee also pointed out that sustainable leadership is distinguished from the classical notion of leadership in that it places much more emphasis on long-term prosperity than short-term profits. It emphasizes a leader's role not only of promoting the quality of current outcomes, but also of ensuring that such outcomes are to be produced continually. Perhaps the two mindsets that sharply distinguishes sustainable leadership from the conventional notion of leadership are the notions of holistic thinking and emotional intelligence. Since organizations operate in a world which is constantly changing and exists as a interconnection of webs of relationships, sustainable leaders must have the ability to think of the system holistically and see how sustainability of the organization links to the wider systems in which they exist. They are able to identify interdependencies, connections, and conflicts among subsystems to be able to drive long-lasting change. Sustainable leaders think in terms of relationships, synergies, connections, adaptivity, and resiliency. Whole Earth sustainability is less about human moral decision making and more about complex problem solving. Sustainable leaders additionally have the emotional intelligence to adaptively engage with their own emotions associated with complex problem solving. Burns et al. In 2015 states that a sustainable leader must first be grounded in an understanding of self in relation to the world around them in order to effectively work with others to make change. They must observe and reflect on their own activities, creating feedback loops and cycles of growth and change which will allow the adoption of new ways of seeing, thinking, and interacting, and ultimately result in innovative, sustainable solutions. The definition of sustainability is evolving, and scholars have already begun discussing the theoretical notion of regenerative leadership, a profound cultural shift towards a regenerative human system. As the map for our future is being written, there are certain mindsets that sustainable leaders should develop in order to lead the present and navigate the future. In order to bridge that gap between the contemporary leader and the sustainable leader, the following is a set of strategies that could be undertaken in order to foster a sustainable way of being and develop the potential for the sustainable leadership. 1. Sharpening observation skills through slowing down, seeing and listening, and using sit spots, which means returning many times to the same place to just sit and observe. Deepening self-awareness through reflective writing and essays, meditation, all with the aim of defining personal leadership principles, which are based on individual life experiences rather than adopting someone else's principles. Developing a holistic orientation can be achieved through integrating outdoor experiences and engaging in retreats that are focused on understanding and connecting to a sense of place. Exploring diverse perspectives through research and dialogue and interviews, not just with leaders and groups, but also with socially marginalized positions. Tracing a product from earth to consumption to highlight unsustainable practices, or even attending a leadership program for sustainability. And finally, deepening connectiveness by engaging in collaborative projects with local communities, practicing storytelling, and engaging in mindful practices and through experiential learning with collaborative leaders within the community. Organizational sustainability creates the most value when it is embedded throughout a firm. And in today's environment, this requires a leader with the advanced human capacity to deal with complexity and lead others through it. The sustainability leader, as described in this presentation, possesses the skills and mindset to make such a positive influence. Thank you.